So, SWIFT versus XRP, or XRP Ledger, or RippleNet. I don't know, whichever one you want to call it. I saw a post where someone was claiming that XRP, or the XRP Ledger, or RippleNet, let's just call it RippleNet for simplicity's sake, is going to take over SWIFT. We're going to take their market from them and replace them. And I insist that what we're going to see instead is collaboration between these two entities. I had a quick look at what Garlinghouse actually said, and actually it's quite interesting. Garlinghouse and David Schwartz, they actually clarified the difference between the two, which I find very enlightening, eye-opening, and interesting. So basically, if you look at it bigger picture, SWIFT, being the incumbent, is often perceived to be the bigger party, while XRP is the one that plugs into that, or some sort of be included in SWIFT, right? And that is because people are thinking about the XRP token being a currency within the SWIFT system. But the dream is much bigger than that, actually. And if you zoom out and see what the dream actually is, you will see that in fact it is RippleNet that is a bigger thing, and SWIFT is just one subset. The reason why I say that is SWIFT is a messaging system between banks, right? Whereas RippleNet, in collaboration with Ripple itself, is both a messaging system and a settlement system. So they're not just connecting liquidity nodes to each other, they actually settle as well. So they take care of the messaging and the settlement, and that's the difference. If you think about it that way, they don't actually need then to replace SWIFT in any way. They only need to take away some of their market share, which is what they're going to do. And analysts have predicted, all sorts of figures. The last one I saw was 14%, which is a massive chunk. But that 14% doesn't really just mean the SWIFT business that they're taking away, but the total liquidity of banks around the world. That is absolutely, absolutely insane. But it is possible, because that's the dream. And it's nearly inevitable, because there is no system at the moment that is as interconnected as RippleNet. There is no system right now that has that level of functionality, that has the liquidity to be able to settle on that grand scale. Only Ripple can do it at the moment. Unless, the incumbents and conglomerates come together and do something to offer some kind of competition against Ripple, I'm afraid this is actually possible. It is very possible that they can take 14% and even more. If you think about bigger picture, 14% is conservative. Very conservative. So yes, I see the vision, and I agree that SWIFT better do something or they're in trouble, to be honest. But this is more longer term than we think. This is not going to happen this year or next year. This is way down the line, when all of the banks themselves start moving over to RippleNet, right? But I think by that time, though, they're not stupid. They've been here for a long time. They're the incumbent, yes, but they are, they're looking for alternatives. They're working with Chainlink. Some aspects are even like working with, what's the other one? PayPal. PayPal is kind of, also a settlement stroke, messaging service, in terms of cross-border liquidity. They're working with Stellar, for instance, and Stellar obviously is a sister blockchain of XRP Ledger. So, they can access some of that functionality from Stellar as well. Yeah, the sky's the limit. Again, I don't want a monopoly. I don't want actually Ripple to absolutely dominate everything. If they capture 10 to 15%, I think that's good enough for there to be enough liquidity for you guys to be extremely happy. I think anything larger than that, then we're starting to deal with, global centralization and monopoly and stuff like that. And there's just too much power in one place. I like to see a variety. I like to see competition, and competition is good. I don't want, in a way, part of me doesn't want SWIFT to die. I want SWIFT to evolve and offer a proper competitive alternative for Ripple, because the way it is now, Ripple is capturing everything. There was another, another company again is talking about $500 million, dedicating that to acquiring Ripple for their treasury. And an analyst said that, where the time is running out for DCA, which is why, again, I've been DCAing pretty much every day for the last few months, a little bit at a time. And this analyst is saying that we're running out of time to be able to do that, because the way, these companies are coming out and adding XRP to their treasury, or at least signaling that they're going to do that. Some of these pieces of news that are coming out, it isn't the companies themselves coming out saying that they're going to do that, because some of them would want to do that because that's going to increase the price of XRP. They'd rather want to buy first before before announcing and making the price go up. I'm willing to bet that some of these guys already have some earmarked in escrow. Again, we're waiting for the legal stuff to be over so that NDAs can be revealed. Some of these companies, they don't want to reveal what they're doing because of NDAs, and NDAs are a big thing. But again, it's almost the 16th of June, moment of truth. Again, nothing might happen, and there are people on their computers waiting to comment that nothing might happen. By the way, talking about DCA, I want to show you guys something. Okay, so when I started doing the walk videos, I was about 120 kilograms. I think that was how much I weighed. Now, after a few months down the line of just walking every day, sometimes I'll miss a day or two, if I traveled or whatever. Even if I traveled my destination, I try to do the walk as well. Now, I'm just barely over 100 kilograms, which is still a little bit away from my destination. I still have maybe another month of doing this before I hit the, perfect shape and size that I'm after, the healthy sort of, I'm not doing this for aesthetic reasons, well, partly, but mostly for health reasons. And just a little bit at a time. Obviously, I also tweaked my diet a little bit. I dropped, the sugar. I stopped eating at night and things like that. But just moderate tweaking, nothing extreme. And just a little bit at a time, And now I'm just over 100. I'm like 101 point something kilograms, right? Do the math if you're not a kilograms person. And yeah, I look a little bit better than before. I'll just show you guys a little bit of before and after, if I can find a before video or picture of myself. And here's an after one. You can see, yeah, no, not too bad. Who knows, by the end of July, coming August, maybe I'll change careers, become a model or something. So yeah, anyway, not financial advice, guys. Do your own research. I'll see you in the next one.